Hey, what's up, everyone? I hope you are having an amazing day. Firstly, I want to thank you for stopping by. You are either a person thinking of starting a business or you have an existing business. You're looking for some basic tips. You're looking for some mindset tips. Entrepreneurship is tough, and that is why this channel is called Raw and Real Entrepreneurship. My name is Susan Sly, and today in this video, I'm going to be talking to you about the 4-day work week. So Iceland published a study that essentially said they did the longest study, 2015 to 2019, to take a look at would a 4-day work week be better than a 5-day work week. And what they found is, yes, people were happier, they were more productive, and that's all well and good unless you're an entrepreneur. So this video is about the question, is a 4-day work week possible for entrepreneurs? So with that, I want to jump right into it. I am so excited you're here. If you are new to the channel, hit subscribe. I release 2 fresh pieces of content every single week. I interview startup founders. I interview people just like you who are starting a business, thinking about starting a business, and people from a variety of different entrepreneurial backgrounds. We also talk about the raw and real aspect of entrepreneurship, things like negotiation, legal documents. I know that sounds really boring, but the fun stuff too, like sales and marketing and all the good stuff you need to know. And if you are new to interacting with me, a little bit about my background. I started my first business when I was 11 years old. I have worked in many different verticals and started business in the health and wellness industry, the fitness industry, the digital marketing industry, and the technology industry. So I have worn many different hats, and I'm here to serve you. If you have a question and you want me to make a video just for you, please go to susansly.com and just go ahead, submit a question to me, and I'd be more than happy, as long as it's like a relatively, reasonable question, more than happy to answer it for you in a video right here on YouTube. So with that, let's get started. So in this study, what they looked at, this was done by the Association for Sustainability and Democracy in Iceland and the UK, and in Japan, they also ran a similar study. And they looked at people in the public sector, so thinking about government workers. And that's where this study isn't relevant to entrepreneurs. Why? If I'm an employee in the public sector, chances are I go to my job and I leave my job at my job, because when I'm not at my job, someone else is doing the exact same job, right? So when you're an entrepreneur, it's entirely different. Why? Because you are in charge of everything. You're the boss. You're making all the decisions. When you're first starting out, you're dealing with clients. And if a client wants to deal with you on Friday night at 9 o'clock, that's when they want to deal with you. And you're the only game in town. On top of it, you might be dealing with aging parents, a full-time day job, kids, a partner, all sorts of crazy life going on. And it can be exhausting. And here are the real statistics from the US Bureau of Labor. Number one, 20% of businesses fail in their first year, 50% are gone by year 5, and only 30% remain after year 10. And so the number one reason people become entrepreneurs is because they want this mystical thing called time freedom. When you're first starting your business, I've got news for you, my friends. You're not going to have time freedom. In fact, over 80% of people who are starting a business, they're doing it part-time. So they're either a full-time parent or they've got their full-time job, and on top of it, they're starting a business and they're being pulled in all these different directions. And that's why with these videos, my goal is to help you navigate that. I want to change the number. By year number 5, I don't want 50% of the businesses to be gone. I read another statistic that said 41% of businesses that had closed because of COVID will never reopen again. So I want you to become bulletproof. I want you to have a solid foundation, and I want you to succeed. So I want to give you today 5 tips. You probably can't do a 4-day work week as an entrepreneur, generally speaking. It depends what kind of business you're in. However, you can collapse your work week because you're probably wasting a lot of time anyway. So the first tip I want to give you is to plan your week in advance. So sitting down on Saturday or Sunday, depending on when you start your work week, and looking at your entire week. I still use a paper day planner, and I order one where I can see the whole week in advance. I also use an online calendar too, but I want to see everything. I want to see my kids' schedules. I want to, if you don't know this, I have 4 kids at home. I want to see what's going on with my different companies. The tech startup that I co-founded with 4 amazing guys, that is my full-time weekday job, right? Like that is not a 9 to 5. Sometimes I'll start corresponding with people at 5:30 in the morning. Sometimes I don't finish until 9 or 10 at night. It just depends, right? So I want to see the whole week in advance, and then I do a gut check. And I know that might sound airy-fairy to some of you, but if I don't feel good about what I'm seeing in my gut, then something has to go, and I will start to cancel appointments. I'll move things around until it feels good. So that's the first thing. Plan your week in advance. Jim Rohn, he was a mentor of mine. I shared the stage with him the last time he spoke live. If you don't know who he was also the mentor to Tony Robbins, who I've also shared the stage with. So Jim used to say, don't start your week until you end your week. So planning the week in advance. Number 2 is work in 90-minute blocks. So working in those 90-minute blocks with that laser focus. Studies show that when we're multitasking, we're so ineffective. So whatever your project is that you're working on for your business, and maybe if it's a side hustle, you're updating your website, you're writing a blog, you're creating content, you're creating a product, schedule out 90 minutes, close your office door, put your blinders on, turn off your social media notifications, and sit there with AIC, that stands for the ASS, in the chair, and you get it done. Whatever that focus needs to be, maybe it's prospecting, it's following up for your business, whatever it is, working in those 90-minute blocks. I've actually mentored people. I don't do one-on-one coaching anymore, but I have mentored people who've had full-time day jobs, kids, to get to a place where their business is making 6 figures, multiple 6 figures, and even 7 figures, but they had to learn how to focus. The third thing I recommend is to front end load your week. So what I'll do on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I will work longer hours, because on Thursday, I'm ready to start winding down. Friday, I want to be in a position where on Friday, I don't have any have-tos. I don't shoot any YouTube videos on Fridays. I don't record my show on Friday generally. Sometimes I'll do a bunch of video meetings with no camera on. I don't even put on makeup. And I learned that from my friend Rebecca Zung. Check out her channel. It's awesome. And so just collapsing your week so that you get so much done that by Wednesday night you're like, yes, I've connected with prospects, I've brought in new sales, I've generated revenue for my company, I've done all of those things that I need to do. The next tip that I want to give you is get an executive assistant, a VA, a virtual assistant. They don't have to be at your house, but have someone who handles your email, handles your correspondence. If you've got a social media presence, which you should, that person can also reply and comment and do all sorts of things with, they can handle the incoming inquiries on your website. And so I recommend, and I don't have a sponsorship with them or anything, I recommend onlinejobs.ph, and they're a great service for you to go hire VAs from the Philippines. Amazing, amazing people. You can also hire students to do things. You can support people in your local area. I recommend that your EA is not a friend or a family member, and make sure, if you haven't watched my video on NDAs, I have a horrible story of someone who didn't listen to me. They hired an NDA, that person stole their client list. So make sure you go and watch the video I did on NDAs. It's awesome, if I do say so myself, because it's something we don't really think about. It's not fun and sexy to talk about, but hey, it is necessary. So get an EA, get that person to handle a lot of correspondence. That's going to take the heavy lifting off you. And then the next tip that I have, if you can afford to do this, and I learned this from Dave Asprey. So Every year, I host a big virtual event called the Ultimate Marketing Experience. It's for solopreneurs. It's for people thinking of starting businesses. I bring in amazing speakers. So Dave Asprey was one of our keynotes. And one of the things Dave said, if you don't know who he is, he started Bulletproof Coffee. He has multiple businesses. He's absolutely incredible. He said he hired someone to do his laundry. And so if you can afford a housekeeper, someone to do your laundry, that is also going to help you, especially if you're building a business part-time while you're also working full-time. You don't want to burn yourself out. That is going to lead you to actually likely burning yourself out before you hit the traction in your business that allows you to go full-time. And the final tip that I want to say, if you want to get more done and compress your work week, is focus on the things that are going to generate the revenue. So many people, even people I know who are entrepreneurs, who've had some traction, waste time. They focus on things. They go on business trips. They do all sorts of things that are busy work, but they're not productive. They don't have that outcome that they're looking for, which is generating new clients, bringing in funding, growing their business. So focusing on the things that are actually going to generate revenue, that is the key. And so one of the things I do is if I'm asked to do something, if I'm, whatever it is, I look at it and say, is it in alignment with my business goals right now? And if the goal, which it always should be one of the top goals, number one, add value to people. Number two, add value to your company. If it isn't doing one of those two things, chances are I'm going to be a no. So with that, I want you to get laser focused. You can compress your work week. You can build an amazing business. You can be super successful. You can do all things. I tell my kids every single night, you can be, do, and have anything you dream. And I believe that with my whole heart. So go ahead, drop a comment below. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. I am the one who sees all your comments. As I said, drop the comment below. And with that, if this video has been helpful, I'd love for you to share it on your social media and tag me on Instagram at Susan Sly, LinkedIn at Susan Sly, at Twitter, Susan_Sly. So with that, God bless, go rock your day. And this has been another episode of Raw and Real Entrepreneurship.